This video shows how to install and get up and running with HCL Accelerate. In this case, I'll be using Windows, but the steps are similar between Mac and Linux. We do have a couple of prerequisites before we run the installer. We will need an orchestration environment because HCL Accelerate is a containerized application. Docker Compose is probably the easiest environment to get set up with, and so that's what we're going to focus on. In fact, Docker Desktop makes getting set up with Docker Compose even easier, and you can see that I have Docker Desktop running with my tray icon down there, and that Docker is running from this settings menu. Okay, I also need an HCL Accelerate user access key. If you do not already have a key, it is relatively simple. Simply Google our main page, click on free trial. You should be able to see a form similar to this one. Request the trial. You should see an email similar to this one. We do recommend that you schedule an installation session. And from here, you can see that there is an access key, and we also provide a download link so that you can download that installer and get started right away, which is what we want to do. So go ahead and click that link to download the installer. And it's a good idea to run the installer as administrator so we can avoid permissions issues. All right, and we're up and running. Real quick, off to the side, on Mac and Linux machines, you'll have to set the execution permissions on the file so that you can run the installer. Okay. The first prompt will be for the Accelerate access key. So that's why it was required that we get this key. Go ahead and copy and paste. And next we are prompted with the license. So you can read the license and print the full license with F, and then type Y to accept the license. We will select Docker Compose as our platform. And in this case, I am going to install to the directory program files HCL Accelerate. Localhost is the default, that should be fine. 443 is the default port, that should be fine. Okay, now we are prompted if we want to start Accelerate now, which is perfectly fine, and that's what we'll do, but it's also good to know that you can start Accelerate at any time using Docker Compose commands like Docker Compose up-D. Okay, and Accelerate is starting up. You can see that it is pooling Docker images. That means that it does require internet access, and except we do have an offline version that's available if needed. And this video is sped up a little bit. In reality, this process can go quite a bit slower, but it's mostly only a first-time issue. All right, and after the installer has finished and we know that Accelerate is up and running, we can go back to the browser. And by the way, we do recommend Chromium-based or Firefox browsers, and simply navigate to localhost, and you should be redirected to the HCL Accelerate login page. If you see a certificate error, that's okay. You can simply continue. You should be able to log in with admin and begin to click around and investigate settings, value streams, releases, and insights. And of course, we have documentation. You can hop on over there. We've got a learning section and various tutorials to help you get started and learn the tool. If you want to just Google us, you can look up blogs and YouTube videos. We also have a number of tutorials to help you get up and started. And of course, one of the most important things you can do is go over to that email where we give you a link for setting up and scheduling an installation session, which is really just a great value, as you can hear from us about how to get a lot of value from Accelerate in terms of value streams, release management, and your overall DevOps journey.